Are you cozy?
It is Tuesday morning. What I feel like I should actually do is touch base with everything kind of what's happened over the last year. So actually, this time last year, November 4th, I was leaving for basic training for the Navy. So I was going to boot camp in the Great Lakes, and I actually made it a whole month through. I had It's 8 weeks, so I had, I guess, technically a month left. One Friday, actually, I went to medical and I told them, hey, I think I'm having an allergic reaction, I'm not sure. My face is swollen every morning, and that morning my eyes were so swollen. My eyes were completely closed, and everyone at boot camp's like, oh my god, you look like a marshmallow man, and all this crazy stuff. So I went to medical, and they did a whole bunch of blood tests, and they were like, it's nothing, it's not an allergic reaction, we don't know what it is. So they sent me back, and Saturday morning happened, and it was even worse, and I had to go back again to do more. They still didn't know what was going on. Obviously, it was something. It couldn't have been nothing, and they just sent me back again to my division, and my RDC. He was kind of upset that they couldn't give me anything for the swelling, so the next day again, I went to medical, and I saw an officer this time, and he was like, all right, we're gonna send you off base, we don't know what it is, it's obviously something. So they sent me off base, and the very first doctor that I saw, he knew instantly what it was. He explains to me that there is this vein in your body, and it's called your supravena cava, and he said, about the width of your thumb, and it's where all the other veins in your body connect. It's how the blood flows from your head down and, everywhere. And he explained that the reason why my face was swelling is because when I was sleeping at night and when I would get up in the morning, the blood wasn't able to flow back down, and that's why they were swelling. So he was like, all right, we're gonna do a chest x-ray, we're gonna see what it is. And we ended up getting the results back that day, and it ended up being a 3 by 4 inch mass in my chest. Obviously, they weren't sure if it was cancerous or not. I don't know, it's just one of those things when you get a feeling where you kind of just know. So I wasn't really surprised later in the night when I got the news that it was cancer. So I called up my mom, and I was crying hysterically, and I was telling her, hey, I'm in a hospital, I just had surgery, and they think it might be cancer. And my mom's telling me, okay, I'm gonna fly, because I live in North Carolina and I was in Chicago. And my mom's like, all right, I'm gonna fly over there, whatever. And I'm like, no, don't, it's okay, I don't need you to fly here. She actually ended up getting there that night, and I called up my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband, and I was telling him, again, I was crying hysterically. And so, I ended up going to Chicago, and they had diagnosed me with cancer. I signed paperwork, and I still got my DD-214, and I actually started my first cycle of chemo in Chicago, and I was there for 2 whole weeks, in a hospital room for 2 weeks. And the way that the hospital worked that I was in, you weren't allowed to leave your room. It was a big room, it was huge, it's bigger than my bedroom now. I had my own bathroom, and I had a huge TV, and it was amazing because when I looked over to my left side, it was an entire window, and I could see all of downtown Chicago. So it was beautiful, but I felt like I was getting cabin fever. And it's crazy. So they had diagnosed me with diffuse large cell B lymphoma, and lymphoma is a cancer of the blood. So it's non-inherited. The way they explain it is it's literally just bad luck. You just get it. They can't. And obviously I was asking them, well, how did I get it? Why did I get it? And if you ask any doctor, they're like, oh, I don't know. It just happens. We don't know why it happens, but it does. So I ended up coming back home to North Carolina, where my family lives, and my husband lives. And the way that this chemo worked that I was doing, I did 6 cycles, and the 6 cycles were 5-day long cycles, 5 entire days, 24 hours times 5, and I'd be hooked up, where I would be getting that chemo. And so when I got transferred to Duke, so I did 5 cycles of chemo at Duke, where I would be there for 5 whole days. And I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I know there's a lot of movies out there, and And I guess it just depends on what kind of cancer you have, what kind of chemo you do, what kind of regimen at all that you do, if you do radiation or anything like that. I guess it just depends. But I don't think movies really put it into perspective for anyone. So now, actually, I finished up everything in April. And it's funny because when I did my chemo, every month I did my chemo, I was there for a holiday. So the first time I did my chemo, I was in Chicago. I was there for Thanksgiving. So I ate Thanksgiving in the hospital. Next was December. I was there for Christmas Eve. Next, I was there for January. It was my 20th birthday. I was there. Next was Valentine's Day. Then March, it was St. Patrick's Day. And then April, it was Easter. So I was literally there for every holiday. And so I finished up April. Everything looked good. My scans, they showed that it was clear, completely gone. So I decided to go back to work because I was exhausted from just sitting at the house. And when I wasn't at the house, I was at Duke. I did my 3-month checkup, and it actually showed that the cancer came back. And so it's the same cancer. It's last time it was just in my chest. This time it's in my neck and in my chest, and I guess somewhere lower in my stomach. But so we're doing chemo differently this time. I've already actually started chemo. I know I went to Duke last week, but I've already started chemo about 3 weeks ago. So the cycle of now, I'm not going to lose my hair. So my hair now is how it's growing back from when I did chemo the first time. This chemo, I'm not supposed to lose it. So I actually go and do more chemo this Thursday and this Friday, which I'll vlog about. And this one's a lot different because I'm doing it locally. I don't have my own hospital bedroom. This kind of part is kind of like the movies where you see a whole bunch of chairs and just people like hooked up to machines getting chemo. So I just go for like 6 hours a day is what I'm doing now. So I did, the way this cycle is set up is 1 day, 8 day, 21 day. So this upcoming Thursday and Friday will be my 21 day. So I've done my 1 day, my 8 day, and now I'm doing my 21 day. And then my cycle will be over. And that's what I'm doing 2 or 3 of. And then after that, hopefully, if everything looks good, then I'm moving on to a stem cell replacement, which I also kind of explained in my other vlog. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, you can go check it out on my page. And I'm sure when I go and get ready, it's going to be in about a month whenever I'm done with all this chemo stuff. I'm going to know more about the stem cell replacement, and I can go more into depth about it and explain it. And because that's going to be a new experience for me as well, because I've never done it. So that's about it. That basically sums it up. Sorry that it was so long. I'm going to throw some clips in from Halloween day and night, and then we're going to move forward to Thursday. So I'm thinking about being a cat for Halloween. Hey, no, I'm trying to get your opinion. Where are you going? What do you think? Is that a good idea? Okay, so a cat? I play soccer, not softball. Yeah. I can't even. This looks like a 50s diner car. It's obvious that I'm sitting on the floor of a bedroom. The lighting's not good anywhere else. Today's Thursday and I had chemo today, and right now would be by the time I'd be throwing the clips in because I'm sick. And I've been sick for the last week. Today, me and Ro woke up this morning at 7, like we always do. And we drove, luckily I do my chemo locally now, thank God, because before I would have to drive all the way to Duke, and if I wasn't able to do chemo, then I would have to drive all the way home, so I would literally drive there for nothing. So, luckily, it's locally. When we got there, my doctor was like, okay, well, obviously you're still sick, you still sound sick, and I don't want to put you at risk because if you're sick and you do chemo, you could end up in the hospital, and we obviously don't want that. I mean, I don't want that. So everything's getting pushed to Monday and Tuesday, and actually my dad is going to be bringing me because Raul has duty. So when I'm vlogging it, it's gonna be me and my dad, and you've never seen my dad on these vlogs before, so it'll be the first time. I'm sorry that it was a very, very informative vlog. It wasn't really that fun. So next week I'm probably gonna make something fun, maybe do a challenge video. Yeah, I'll throw some chemo in there, but just mix it up a little bit so it's not so boring. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.